right, welcome back to the Bachelor Review Show with Stacy B and the husband.
Thank you.
Yes, all right.
It's cutting me.
Please, no more applause. That's great. Oh, this is good? What else?
Yeah.
Cargo pockets, wallets. All right, so my lovely wife here has the bubonic plague.
I am so sick right now. I think it started from last week's episode, which was so horrible, and it got me so angry that it got me sick.
Yeah.
And I'm so sick. I'll hold it. I'm so sick that, like, I'm on antibiotics because I didn't have a voice yesterday. Today I'm starting to get my voice back, but it's probably better that I don't have more of a voice because I would just talk about The Bachelor all day and no one wants to hear that. See, it was a really rough day for me. First of all, I got to work and the shirt that I'm wearing was so low that I went and I took these paper clips and I had to, like, paper clip, or whatever these are called. These are binder clips. I had to binder clip my top to make it higher. Then I had to interview someone at work, and while I'm talking to them, I, like, got dry throat, which just means that, like, your I don't know, the back of your throat just gets so dry that you just start hacking. You're like, I didn't have any water, and then, you know, I'm interviewing someone, so I'm trying to pretend that I'm, like, a professional person. So, you know, I made it seem like, you know, I had someone coming into my office that needed to grab me, so I was like, I'm like, I'll be right back. Like, ran out of the office, and I tried to get some water, and then I came back, and my face was all red, and I had to continue talking to this person as if, you know, I hadn't just almost gagged in his face. Anyway, then we watched The Bachelor tonight, and
I imagine you're going to get dry throat if you keep going.
I probably am.
So just keep going and you'll give them a real
Well,
example.
at some point I will show you what it means to get dry throat if you're not already familiar with that wonderful process, which also happened on my train ride home today when I was sitting next to a total stranger and I got just dry throat and I, like, ran off. Yeah, I have a sore throat too. Anyway, let's not talk about getting sick. Let's talk about The Bachelor.
Does anyone have a SARS mask that they could lend the husband?
Today happens to also be my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, sister.
Happy birthday, the sister.
And she spoke to me at work. She calls me. She's like, hello. And I'm like, hello. I was like, happy birthday.
Wow, we're 3 minutes in and we haven't talked about The Bachelor.
I know. That's probably the best part of this entire video review because, all right, The Bachelorette tonight.
Bentley.
I mean, I'm
Bentley,
so sick of hearing that name. So, like, I'm just so sick of it. But I have to say, it was definitely more entertaining than previous weeks. I mean, at least stuff happened on the show. You know, it was the first episode where she wasn't, like, second-guessing that the guys were there for someone else. I mean, of course, once she told them about the Bentley guy, they were all, like, ready to walk out. That really would have been the best episode ever if, like, Constantine, like, was like, screw this, and, you know, good for Mickey that he left, and
yeah, that was
Blake.
Awesome.
Blake's just pissed that he didn't leave before, that, like, he didn't leave on his own terms.
I stood up and clapped when Mickey, or at least I clapped loudly.
But let's talk about the actual, like, Bentley interaction. I mean, I almost think, and I'm going to say this, and I don't know if this is right, but I have a hard time believing that based on what Bentley said to her, that she came to the conclusion that he was the player. Because I felt like as soon as she saw him, she was, like, very willing to be swept back up into him. She kissed him right on the lips. She didn't make it seem at all like,
he touched her thigh.
Yeah, and she was kind of, like, flirting with him a little bit. And I didn't really get the sense that she really got closure. I feel like we missed something. Like, there was, you know, they had this conversation. He was still kind of vague. And then he kind of told her twice, like, I'm not interested in you, you should move on. And she still didn't quite get it.
They had to play, like, a kindergartner's game to, like, come to the conclusion. Like, she was like, well, are we going to put a period after it instead of the ... And he was like, well, I guess...
Yeah, but he told her clearly twice, like, you should move on. And, like, she still was there. So it's like, why would you spend another second
That's because he was saying you should move on, and he was touching her thigh and giving her the eyes and being like, eh. And then, but she called him out. She's like, what? She's like, but the one thing I don't get is, like, why did you come here? Did you come here for a vacay? You know, like a vacation? And he was just like, and I guess, like, she was probably like, yeah, he did come here for a vacation. I just
feel like she didn't really get from A to Z by what we saw. I feel like there was a break, and I think that there perhaps was more footage that we didn't see, or that maybe, like, Chris Harrison, like, and her had another talk, and she was like, I don't know, I'm still confused. And he was like, well, watch this footage that we have of him.
I think Chris Harrison's going to quit the show if she keeps this.
I don't know. It was interesting that this was the first time we didn't see any side footage of Bentley, like, in any kind of cameo, being like, God, like a free trip to China. Like, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, horrible.
He's like, I can't wait to crush her again, but I got to make sure my hair looks good.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, maybe he changed his mind, because he was, like, saying some kind of crap that, like, oh, he like was reflecting on it, and he told her to come visit her in Salt Lake City, and maybe he's had some realizations, but I don't know. I didn't really. It's too bad we didn't get to see his perspective once again of like what he was thinking as she was like, they're confessing. I guess they were kind of like, enough with Bentley. We've let him have his say. I'm gonna get.
Oh, this is dry throat. This is dry throat. This is This is happening. Are you okay?
This is nothing to be excited about.
I realize that. I shouldn't be excited that my wife is choking. But just drink some water and stop talking.
Talk amongst yourself.
I'm going to talk a little bit. All right, so, you know, the whole thing... Oh, God, I can't... Even just thinking of saying the word Bentley makes me want to punch myself in the face. Bentley. She explained, I think, to JP. Was that
I love JP.
Yeah, he seems like a really good dude.
Him.
He might be one of the better
guys
has
it in the bag.
on
There's
the show.
No one that even comes
Would
close.
you just have dry throat and let me speak for a second? All right, just choke for a sec.
Rude.
It is rude. What I was going to say is she explained to JP, I think, the whole Bentley thing pretty well, but then when she told all the guys sitting there, it did not come out well at all. I mean, it was totally... It did come off as the whole, like, well, I fell in love with this guy, and none of you guys are him, but you're my sloppy seconds. You're my second choices.
Let me say, for the record, there's no one that even comes close to her connection with JP right now. He is totally the front runner. He's the only person that she told first or separately. Her connection with him is like far beyond any of the others, and I loved his reaction to what she said. He was like, thanks for telling me, you know, I'm glad you got closure. And that was it. He didn't care, you know, he was like, he was okay with it. And, you know, that whatever she told him, fine, but it was his reaction to her, and then like her like reaction to his reaction that I think seals it tonight. I mean, there's no one that is even close to JP in my opinion. I mean, Ben F is great, very sweet guy, and they definitely have a little something, but it's not near the level that she has with JP.
And let's just talk about what I guess what they're previewing for the next week. First of all, they preview the next week. They're like, next week we're going to Thailand. Is that right?
Taiwan.
And then they're in Thailand. But then, like in 2 weeks, no, they're in Hong Kong. Right?
No, they were in Thailand.
No,
Remember Phuket?
Right, Phuket, I believe it's pronounced. But then they're like showing stuff for Fiji. Isn't that like 2 weeks away? Like.
Yeah, I mean they're not going to be.
And then you're going to get people
Taiwan
analyzing like who's missing from these highlights or all this stuff, and like clearly the way that they're previewing all these episodes is just Ashley crying.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like at the very end. Oh, I can try through. At the very end.
We're gonna have to have a second video cast.
No, at the very end of like when she's staying there in her dress and like waiting for Mr. Right to come propose, it seems like she has a total breakdown, and it seems like somebody else leaves and comes back.
Yes. So we have plenty of more heartbreak on the way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I care.
Oh.
The other thing that I'm really kind of annoyed about is that next Monday in Bryant Park there is an alumni function from my college. They're doing like a movie in Bryant Park outdoors. It's like 6:30. There's a cocktail hour and like a dinner, and then 8:30 at night, like under the stars, there's a movie. And I'm like, how nice would it be to have a normal life and go to something like that? You know, with bringing the husband, of course, and meeting up with some friends. But no, I've got to come here and watch this crap, you know?
You can't complain about the show that you're watching, that people are watching our review about. Like, you know.
Well, this season is just not up to par.
It's probably going to rain anyway. What?
This season is...
No, it's been horrible. It's been bad.
I mean,
and she's clearly... You can see it, and Chris Harrison is, like, sick of dealing with her.
Yeah. Look, on the one hand, if Ashley had started off tonight,
wrap up.
Her, like, post-Bentley, if she was starting out tonight, and this was the first night we saw her... I'd say, all right, you know, I'll give her a shot because she's engaging, she's happy. She was a whole new person after Bentley left. Unfortunately, that was short-lived when she confessed to the guys and saw their reaction. But there was a moment there where she could have carried the show. I don't know that we're going to see that again.
Well, this review was non-officially sponsored by Chloroseptic. And we're going to have to wrap it up because Stacy's going to have a coughing fit. Get a good one in. Yep, there we go. All right, thanks for watching. Good night.
Good night.